You're listening to an exclusive podcast of Goldhawk Fights Back for You on AM 740 Zoomer Radio. Goldhawk Fights Back for You airs Monday to Friday, 11 to 1 on AM 740 Zoomer Radio.
12:19 here on Goldhawk Fights Back for You on Zoomer Radio. You met him a few days ago, and I said to him, George, you got to come back. George Marcello, I'm talking about, the CEO of Step by Step, a charity that's very, very involved with organ donations in Canada and in Ontario and in Toronto, where, in fact, organ donations are very, very low. And, George, that has been your raison d'etre, has it not, for many, many years, to get those donations up so we can save literally thousands of lives that could be saved.
Yes, first of all, good to be back, Dale, and thank you for inviting me back. Yes, we should have an ultimate goal of saving everybody on the waiting list. I don't know why people think that's so absurd, or why we can't do that.
Do people think it's absurd?
Some people.
Or think it's impossible? Is that what you mean?
Some people say it's out of the question. Some people say you can't go there, and so I beg to differ on that.
I don't understand why. I mean, it just seems so commonsensical that if you could donate after death, if you could see that your organs were donated, or even before death, live donations, why would not everyone strive to get as many of those donations in as possible?
Because I think most of them base it on our last 20-year history, which is very poor. And so when you have a
so they're saying it's not going to get any better from
because of our poor history. But it takes some bold action to get there. We can't do it with what we have right now.
All right. Well, let me talk about. I wanted you to come back, George Marcello, so that you could talk about what you're calling your Lifesavers Act. And this is a way that you formulated over 20 years of dealing with these issues. You're an organ transplant donor yourself.
Recipient, yes.
Yeah, a recipient. Not a donor, a recipient, of course. Yeah, right. And you're in fine health today?
I walked across Canada.
That's right. Do you know what that means? It means you're in fine health. That's what it means.
I had to show them that these things work. When I walked, Dale, that was back in the 90s when they still thought organ donation was voodoo medicine. And you know...
the fact that it didn't work that often,
they weren't sure about the anti-rejection drugs. You were tied up to machines. You were some kind of Frankensteinish kind of creature.
You look pretty normal to me. I don't know, George.
Thank you.
Pretty normal. But I want to talk about this act, because this is what you're calling it, because it's detailed and we have to understand it. So try to nutshell it for us. Get us started on what you're trying to do with what you call the Lifesavers Act.
Okay, thank you. First of all, it involves three parts. The Lifesavers Program, which directly focuses on the stranger live donor, which could be a kidney, liver, or lung donor.
Okay.
The other two parts focus on cadaveric organs to increase our rate of cadaveric organs, and those two policies are the Torch of Life Alert, which is similar to the Amber Alert, and community challenges, where I feel that we can have every community right across Canada involved in their part in raising awareness for organ donations and donations themselves, and have a healthy challenge going on, like which community is doing the best, and try and outdo each other.
Okay, but part of the way I read this, and I've studied, it's very detailed here, and I've studied it, so let me pick out a few things so people can understand it. You would become, under this plan that would require some legislation, federally, perhaps provincially, you would want people to become lifesavers.
That's correct. I believe...
And a lifesaver would do precisely what?
A lifesaver, the main task of the main role of the lifesaver would be in donating one of their kidneys, or a piece of their liver, or a part of their lung.
A piece of lung.
A piece of lung.
Yeah.
So that would be the main task or the main role of the lifesaver. But the lifesaver's role would go on afterwards as becoming an advocate or, to continue on bringing education and awareness to communities. And what better person than somebody who's gone through this to talk to our schools, to talk to our communities, to talk to our media. I can't think of a better person than that person to educate our people.
We know for a fact that cadaveric donations are not that high. Is it fair to say that live donations are even less?
Yes, but let me be clear about live donations. Because there's the family live donations where, somebody in the family finds out that they need a liver or a kidney. Almost automatically the family tries to test to see if the family's a match.
Yeah.
Now, when that doesn't happen, there's two options. If the family member that's trying to match is not of the same blood type, they can pair up with their loved one and be part of what's called paired exchange. In this paired exchange, there's other families finding themselves in similar situations. So if the blood types match, there's a crisscross, where if one of the family members had A plus and their loved one needed O plus, and another family member, their loved one needed A plus and their family member was O plus, they can actually crisscross and
they could pool resources, as it were. Really.
So that's one way.
Well, some of that's being done now, isn't it?
Some of that's being done now,
but not enough.
Now we don't need really too much more to encourage that, because pretty much the hospital lets the family know that the family can do that.
All right.
But where we need the biggest focus, the most attention, and a lot of attention is in the indirect, or what some people call the stranger or anonymous donor.
So you're doing it for altruistic purposes.
That's exactly it.
Although you've thrown a twist in here a bit, you're saying that when a lifesaver, as you call them, would volunteer for this program, that under a federal program, for example, it could be that, under a federal program, they would be paid for their services, right?
Now, using the word paid, let's just be careful about that, because...
Well, you wrote it, that's why I'm saying it.
I did, but I went on to explain.
It's not for the organ, it's for the service.
The person, the lifesaver, is not selling their organ. They're providing a service to their country or their community, just as similar as our policemen, our firefighters, our soldiers, anybody that is doing a task in our country that puts their life at risk.
Mm-hmm.
They're all lifesavers. All these people, all these groups, they're all lifesavers, and they're every day they're putting their life, they're at risk for us, but they are getting paid, which they should be, for their services.
Well, because they are performing quite an important life-saving public service.
Exactly. So we don't say the fireman that runs into the fire to save somebody that he's just doing it for his paycheck.
Oh, I think he's inspired a little, and she is inspired a little beyond their paychecks.
And what do kids usually say when they're growing up? Most of them say that they want to become a firefighter. So why can't this become an added natural order of things in our society?
Now, years ago, you presented some of these ideas to to Mike Harris, Premier Mike Harris, and to was it the health minister, Alan Rock?
Alan Rock.
Okay. And how did that go?
Well, at that time, I didn't present the indirect donor because at that time I was pretty convinced that we could have addressed our shortage through cadaveric.
But this was your whole lifesaver idea.
Yeah. The lifesaver idea came really in 2008 when I met who I called the perfect example of a lifesaver, Mr. Claremont Humphrey. Who donated a piece of his liver to a baby girl that he was not related to.
Yeah.
And he actually, because I knew I followed Claremont before the surgery, after the surgery, and after that. And he actually was my inspiration to say, we can get another 100 of these people to do the same thing. There's probably over 1,000 people across Canada that would do the same thing. Now, Mr. Humphrey, of course, did not. There was no program for him to get involved with, and I think it's important for a program to be available.
There has to be some kind of framework here to make this work a little better.
Yeah, remember what you said, we got to go after them? No, we got to make something available so that they can come to us, sort of thing. Instead of going to look for live donors or to, make something available that they can respond to.
Well, that involves a lot more talking about this as well, because that leads to public awareness. If, and in fact, we're not really doing a very good job just as ordinary people in terms of offering up our organs either before or after death.
Yes.
We need to talk about ways to make people feel that that's kind of part of what they do as Canadian citizens.
Yes, and when we're at it, and this is really important, as a result of somebody becoming a stranger donor, it has what we call a daisy chain effect. Because of that indirect or anonymous donor, it could cause 2 or 3 transplants to happen. Yeah. And it also brings a feeling of inspiration to friends and other family members to do the same thing. So it's not just saving that one person, it's saving many people and becoming an inspiration for others. So the ramifications are so positive for this. and then we can talk about how much would this cost.
Okay, if you have a thought or a comment or a question for George Marcello, give us a call right now, 416-360-0740 or 866-740-4740.
You're listening to an exclusive podcast of Goldhawk Fights Back for You on AM 740 Zoomer Radio. Goldhawk Fights Back for You airs Monday to Friday, 11 to 1 on AM 740 Zoomer Radio.
$12:34, George Marcello is in the studio, CEO of Step by Step. A special event is starting, in fact, right as we speak. And in an adjacent room here, we have a young man whose name is Khalid Khatib, 21 years old. And he is going to engage in a run to Ottawa, starting right today. Right, George?
Yes, but he's not running. He's walking.
He's walking, all right.
And we're going to be driving to Ottawa where he's going to begin. That's tomorrow. So he's officially kicking off the walk tomorrow.
Oh, it's from Ottawa to here
to
then.
Toronto. He's making his way back.
And, of course, all of this is to help a young man we heard from a number of days ago, Anthony Sochi, who needs a kidney. He's on dialysis every single day of his life, and he is in, I think it's fair to say, desperate need for an organ donation.
That's correct. And it's very desperate. So we're hoping, as a result of doing all this and the walk, that somewhere along the walk that we're going to hear that somebody has matched up and they're going through the process and eventually hear that Anthony has received his gift.
Anthony, of course, has been through his whole family. All the tests have been done. No one is compatible within Anthony's family, so now he must depend upon the generosity and the kindness of somebody out there who either on a live basis would donate a kidney or after death, a kidney.
I hate to say this, he won't survive waiting for a cadaver. I mean, chances are that he won't survive.
Just because
it's a long wait. Just because there's 1,000 other people waiting, and they do, as the sicker you get, of course. His body's being compromised every day because of his certain disease. So nobody can really say, Anthony, you got so much this much time to live, because
for sure.
it's so for him to wait for a cadaveric organ would be a lot longer than the chances of us finding a live donor for him.
My only point is, if more cadaveric organs were available, it wouldn't be a problem.
That's correct.
Is that not the truth of the matter?
But the thing about cadaveric is that there's only so much cadaveric organs that are going to be produced. We're not going to get higher than a certain level.
Well, but aren't you limiting the campaign by even? That's what you were talking about a few minutes ago.
No, but
you can't really limit it. I mean, if more people did it,
yeah. But for cadaveric organs, there's only going to be so much cadaveric organs that could be donated. The rest of the void has to be filled by live donations. Yeah, there's at least one. I would say close to probably 25%. That will still be waiting, and the only way to fill that void is through live donors. So in other words, Dale, if you heard the latest report from the Queen's Park about 2012 in organ donations, they said they had a record year, 11% increase. And they asked 91 people that declined, that said no.
These are family members.
These are
in
family
hospitals.
members that lost somebody cadaveric, so a cadaveric organ.
Well, that's what. Then that system has to be fixed.
Yeah, but even if all 91 people said yes, that there would have been 250 more transplants, and the number still falls way, way short of the actual number of people waiting. So what I'm saying is that we can fill that void. You know, where the cadaveric organs end, we can fill that 25% void by live donations, but specifically we have to focus on the live donor. And in Anthony's case, that's what we're looking for, is a live stranger donor. It's not somebody related or not, so.
Well, because that hasn't worked. That's not medically possible. Yeah. Here's Sandra calling on the line from St. Catharines. Sandra, what are your thoughts?
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for bringing up this topic. I was just wondering, I have a friend that's looking for a lung transplant, and is it possible as a live donor that I can give a lung? I've heard pros and cons or nays about not being able to. Is this?
Well, you can give us some general thoughts on that, can't you, George?
Yeah, of course I can, Sandra.
Yeah.
Edmonton is the only hospital performing this. It takes two people to donate a piece of their lobe, and so it takes two people to do it.
Two donors
to help one person.
Yeah.
And the person that receives these two lobes will have a full functioning lung, I think, after about a year and a half. So it's a bit of a slower process, but it works. So.
And what of the donors? They're okay?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the donors,
they do quite well.
Yeah. What happens is it's almost like the same way that a liver grows back, but it doesn't grow back, but the lungs fill the rest of the space. So there's no problem to the donor
no problem
whatsoever.
To the donors at all. So it can be done.
It can be done, Sandra. Right. So if you could find somebody else, but you have to do it in Edmonton.
You have to go all the way.
Well, it's not all the way if it's somebody's life.
Yes, which is definitely true. Well, I sure appreciate. And what's the procedure of going about finding out the details?
I would contact. My best guess is to contact the live donor hospital, maybe a Toronto hospital, because they ask for more information about donating your lung.
They're all connected. They would know.
Yeah, and then they'll give you a phone number for Edmonton, or you can look in our website. We have all the hospitals listed on our website, torchoflife.com, and you can see the Edmonton Hospital there.
Thanks, Sandra, very much. Good luck.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Have a good day then.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye. Here is Ken on the line from Scarborough. Ken, what are your thoughts about all of this?
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I have a question regarding age. Is there any age limit on, like, say somebody's in their late 80s or 90? Would they still have organs that would be still usable after they die?
George, what about that?
Of course. And we've had stories about, I think it was a 108-year-old grandmother that donated her liver and a kidney. 108 years old, Dale.
Holy
so there is no age limit in this.
Yeah.
And say yes.
Yeah.
Register. Let the doctors
determine that, right?
Let them determine, because you probably got some good stuff in you.
I sure hope so.
You probably do, and let the doctors. If you hadn't registered yet, please register, beadonor.ca.
Well, that's the first step, isn't it? Then you'll find out whether or not
That's
you're
right.
suitable and
That's
whether
right.
or not it can happen.
And share it with your family as well, though. That's the other
All
important
right.
step.
Do you think the hesitancy with live donorship is partly due to the fact that people are concerned about their own health after donating? Have you found that that's a concern?
I think after we properly educate and bring awareness to this area to all Canadians, that's not a factor. Canada, especially in the Toronto area, can boast as having some of the best live donor procedures in the world. So in other words, they protect the donor. Before, during, and afterwards, and we haven't had one casualty or one, so we got a pretty near perfect record in this, Dale. Like, we've been very careful, our doctors, in taking care of our donors. So if we can get that message out as part of the program, if this program ever got initiated, they would find that as a fact.
All right. Let's take one last call from Warren in Scarborough. Warren, do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, I have a question. My mother, when she passed away, she donated her body to University of Toronto Medical School. And I was wondering if, in a case like that, if maybe the eyes could be donated. I know they'd be using all the other organs for study, but could the eyes have been donated?
I guess only if you allowed them to be donated, and if they were available to be donated. And were you not approached by members of a transplant team?
It was. This was in the 70s.
Oh, good grief,
yeah.
Yeah.
At that time, I highly doubt that, because it was still in the growing
its infancy,
stage.
wasn't it?
The growing
in
stage.
fact, the transplant science wasn't
Wasn't
nearly as perfected and progressed as it is now.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. But thank you for thinking of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much, Warren. So, are you walking along? And I hate to ask, are you walking too, or are you going to walk and ride? Or
I'm going to be near him. Because we're filming him live, by the way, so people can tune in live to watch him.
And how do they do that?
Torchoflife.com.
Torchoflife.com.
We got a monitor. We're calling it Anthony TV.
Okay.
so anybody can watch us. We got a whole program listed out from start to finish, February 5th to the 22nd. And yeah.
Well, good luck. Good luck for Anthony.
Thank you.
And good luck to Caleb and yourself for making this making us all much more aware of the situation.
We encourage all your Zoomer audiences, listening and viewers, everybody, to please get involved with this, because there's so many lives that we can affect if we all get involved.
George, thanks once again for dropping by.
Thank you.
All right, before you hit the road.
Yes.
Okay, bye for now.
Thank you.
George Marcello, he's the CEO of Step by Step, torchoflife.ca. That was it? Torchoflife.ca?
Torchoflife.com.ca. We covered both ways.
You covered it off both ways? Good man.
Goldhawk Fights Back for You airs Monday to Friday, 11 to 1 on AM 740, Zoomer Radio.
You're a great person, and everybody should help you. Everybody should come out and help you and have a chance.
Hundreds of people are on a mission to raise awareness about organ and tissue donation. Today they stopped in Rochester.
This morning, the torch passed through Buffalo. Canisius High School students carried the torch from City Hall to their school on Delaware Avenue. The torch
I want to raise awareness about the important issue of organ and tissue donation. As our nation debates healthcare, this is the most important way that we as individuals can contribute to the betterment of those who are suffering.
Today we're here in New York City.
Labor and not to ask for any rewards, save that knowing that I do you well.
I say organ, you say donate. Organ, donate. Organ, donate.
The famous torch was blessed by Pope John Paul II back in 2000. It was lighted to pay tribute to...
A local teenager carrying a special torch through the streets of downtown Pittsburgh today. It's called
Okay, you ready, girls? Okay, come on.
I want to say something.
Okay. You don't have to get nervous. It's okay. Donate your organs. Let's go. 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 Donate your organs. Let's go.
The one holding the torch. No, it's not money. Just sign your organ donor card. Even if you don't think you can. Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
John Paul II, when he said, through the kids, people respond, they have been responding. When they see courageous kids like this carrying the torch, they respond to this. They become organ donors.
I feel special because it's like giving me an opportunity to let the world know what kids need out here.
The torch began.
Are we good with the shots, Mary? And how many teachers do we got out here? Okay, so she's leading the way then, right? Okay. Kids from Roman Catholic High School and St. Halahan's All-Girls School are carrying that torch, and they're making their way, they're making their way to the steps that Rocky took during his famous movie. It's still lit. Way to go, guys. What do you want to tell the kids in Wilmington, Delaware?
Organ donation saves lives. Tissue.
And it did light. They did. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
All right.
That is an amazing accomplishment. 12,000 miles.
That is fantastic.
For organ donations.
Wow, that is great.
And we'll, like I said, this is on the front page. Their event they did with Delaware students was on the front page of the state news already, so that's why a number of words came out.
That's great.
But
well, thanks for being here.
God bless you.
Take care.
We love you, Jamila.
Beautiful.
I'll be a Superman.
Okay, everybody's here.
All ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're about to light the torch of life that's going to go on a 4-year journey around the world in front of His Holiness Pope John Paul II.
Santo subito. Lots of those, Carlos.
Hold up just for a few more minutes.
Donate your organs, let's go! Donate your organs, let's go! Organs, let's go! Donate your organs, let's go! Donate your organs, donate!
Organs, let's go! Donate your organs, let's go!
I say...
What did this mean to you?
It felt very good.
Okay, and who would you
who'd you like this torch pass to?
Barack Obama.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna make that happen.
All right.
What wasn't that easy after?
Yeah, I was scared at first, but now I'm fine. Walked across Canada. Same was.
Patty Letourneau and her sons light the torch of life. It's a symbol of hope in a difficult time. Letourneau's husband has cancer and will die without a new liver.
Alyssa Sabero carries a torch for her mom, who watches from the hospital window above.
1700 nel solo Ontario e il 25% di esse, circa 450, sono di origine italiana, come ha confermato George Marcello.
Claremont Humphrey is still in pain, as you might expect, just 8 days after major abdominal surgery.
After the ceremony, a torch was lit by Toronto police and carried to the hospital for sick children to raise awareness about sickle cell.
The only way to save my brother now is for him to receive a bone marrow transplant from a matching donor. This is our only hope and our only chance to save my brother's life.
德華幹細胞協會為咗幫助 Stephen 尋找適合捐贈。
And if we don't do something to change this, she's not going to be around. George Marcello in the tracksuit will make the 450-kilometer trek to Ottawa to raise awareness for the so-called Spanish model. There, the law presumes everyone can...
that a national registry system will be put in place. If everybody here agrees with what I just said, say amen. That's an agreement. Therefore, I believe we receive it. I ask these things in the name of your Son. Amen.
If we may, I'm just wondering if we can just take another moment. Today's the first week since we all heard the tragic news in America. We can just take...
George Marcello is an organ transplant survivor who lives to help others in his situation.
I'm walking across Canada to promote the benefits and importance of organ donations.
George Marcello's walk across Canada will take almost a year and a half. His desire to educate people about organ donation started from the inside.
5 years ago, I was rushed to the hospital with liver failure.
This is what it's all about. You know, this is why I had that desire right when I woke up from that operation, was to acknowledge that act that people unselfishly make. You know, like it's a tremendous act that it's got to be the most godlike act that's around. You know, to donate your organ so that someone else can live. Just think about that. You know, it's beautiful, and you know, this is a very tremendous day, and it's just there's miracles happening all around here, Joe. You know that? This is just fantastic. I can't believe it. What do you think?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. This torch was lit up at Vatican City on September 5th, 2001, and Pope John Paul II blessed this torch. 11:05 a.m. He made a proclamation that organ and tissue donation was a genuine act of love. For some reason, I don't know, he probably, in his wisdom, he probably knew there was going to be a long journey ahead. I have that feeling. I'll pass the torch to the students, for they shall be the ambassadors of this issue. And I carried out those words faithfully for the next 10 years. And we've gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles. There's been a lot of highs, there's been a lot of lows. And we had to, sometimes one moment could have wrecked this whole campaign. From one moment of feeling could have wrecked this whole campaign, could have stopped it. But it didn't. We kept going because we kept believing, we kept believing, we kept believing. And now we're here today at Pope John Paul II Cultural Center, and the torch has finally arrived home. Today is March 23rd, 32-day campaign called SOS the Americas. And we're making a brief stop here now because we're preparing a huge event on April 14th, 2010.
On that morning, we're going to come here, gather here with 100 students from Washington. We're going to light the torch here to begin the second half of Pope John Paul II, his journey. We're going to begin the second half, and the kids are going to carry the torch from here to the Capitol Center, hoping to try and bring as many people together as possible, because that was the Pope's wish. We're going to go in front of the Pope right now. Across these roads right here, I think we're okay. We're not interfering. This one's a beautiful center. And here it is. You know what I mean? Do you feel something here, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
You know what I mean? Like here's, just picture it. Picture it like 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is...
He received this torch and blessed it. And here I am, 10 years later, bringing the torch back to him.
Yeah.
Can you dig that?
Yeah, really dig it. Yeah, I can.
So,
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Despite everything that's happened, you know, like all the bickering, all the highs and lows, we made it.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you again.
Oh, you
and
will.
And then the final destination.
On
the 14th, you coming back?
Yeah, you have to.
14th of what is
April.
April
3
14th.
weeks. And we're going to have about 100 kids. We're going to light the torch here.
That's great. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be carried from here to the Capitol Reflection Pool. And our hopes is to try and get as many people, including both parties, Republican and Democratic, senators and congressmen, to come out and receive the torch.
Oh, that's going to be wonderful.
It
That's
will.
Be a historical moment.
Yeah,
Try to get both of them to agree on something today.
Yeah, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, just to hold the torch for that 10, just to say, look, you know, by you doing this, you're going to bring so much hope and power to people, and you're giving so much hope to those, especially 25,000 children. So.
Oh man, God is going to bless this event.
The kids.
Oh, the kids. Okay.
We designate kids in each city, and then they pick it up and carry it through, and then it
See,
keeps
involving the youth is very important today's time, because a lot of
you
times.
know, students, because they're genuine, and they will bring the message to the whole world. And that's what we've been doing for 10 years.
That is wonderful. He'll be very proud of you, and I know he's going to bless every step of your way.
I know that. That's
yeah.
that's why I've gotten this far, because I believe that. I believe that 100% with all my heart, and that's why, you know, we're still carrying. You know, this torch is a torch. It's wood. But if you,
I just want to encourage all our viewers out there to please support this cause. It's a very valuable cause, and it shows the love of humanity towards humans. If we love each other, there's more likely that there will be less conflict around the world. And this is just an example that hope that not only the Pope John Paul II has given us, blessed by Jesus Christ, who is the lover of all. Thank you, and please support this cause. It's a great cause, and I think we're going to reach the world.
Thank you. Very good.
He sees this tape and they think, you know what I mean? It's going. So if you want to jump on board and be part of this historic event here, then, you know what? Do the right thing. Do the right thing. He sees this tape and they think, you know what I mean? It's going. So if you want to jump on board and be part of this historic event here, then, you know what? Do the right thing. Do the right